data side, right? How they're driving our behavior. Okay, so maybe let me share my screen. I have a couple of presentations that I want to go through. Sorry, like I'm not able to create like lots of things with you, but I just want to have a couple of datas like I want to share with you guys. So stop me wherever if you have any questions, and uh, like I mean anything, right? I want to be like as a kind of a lively discussion I want to have here, and stop me over there. So basically this is like my outline for today. Biography, anyway, you go on about us, what we do. We'll discuss about data connections. We're going to discuss like a couple of instruments that we're developing. Like I'll just walk through you, right, and you will know, right, like what is happening in the healthcare industry, and then we'll discuss about the data solutions. So this is like a basic, I will use lots of content, from web that is available. I can give link to you because we have some confidentiality agreement. I cannot share the most details, but I have like whatever is available on the net. I am able to share with you guys. So let me explain to you like what we are doing actually. So maybe every day, right? Like when you go to hospital, and when you go to hospital like for your health checkup, doctor recommend you that you need to do some test, and those tests may be a glucose, that is for checking diabetes, or creatine for kidney, and similarly like lots of other tests. Those tests called chemistry test or chemistry, and those tests, like normally what when you go to lab, what they will do, they will take your blood, and they put into a one small bottle, and they'll put a barcode over there. And similar way, like next day or same day, right, you will receive a report. For glucose normally it takes only a couple of hours. It's just only 1 or 2 hours. For creatine is also take 1 hours. If you see previously, right, like I think a couple of years back, this report used to take couple of days to get the report, and it was very difficult for doctor to diagnose. And even though you see the healthcare industry, right, healthcare industry is moving into the situation where everybody, all the doctors, they want to do diagnose based on the test. They don't want to do without test. So that's why all our healthcare industry is moving, because we want to diagnose the correct problem. Then these tests called the chemistry test, like where in the blood, right? Blood normally contains, two 2,000 to 3,000 elements, from where we can also tell, right? Like a couple of these that I'll maybe collect it later. We can also tell you, right? Like in the near future, right? Can you have a risk of getting a heart attack? So those kind of tests, also lots of research is going on, and we're able to, because of data analytics, right, we're able to predict, we're able to minimize the time to get the report. So there are a couple of things that maybe we'll discuss. Then this is also called the chemistry. We have some instruments that called immunoassays. Immunoassay, again, right, is a kind of just want to give one example, like T3, T4, TSS, like for thyroid, right? It's a called of immunoassay. And what we are doing, we are developing assays, on this to diagnose these things. So basically, if you go to any hospital, right? And hospital, normally there will be a labs, and these labs will run your test. So everything will happen in the background. Normally people doesn't know, right? Like they just only, okay, I given my blood or my urine, and like now report will come. They're eagerly waiting for the report, and when the report comes, the diagnostic will start. So this is like the immunoassay, some of the things. And then hematology again, the red cell, white blue cells. And I think there's one more thing is the platelets, like somebody have a dengue, right? Like the platelet counts is become very important. Previously it used to take days to get the results. Now it's take hours only, right? You get the report, and you like based on the reports, right? You can, doctor can start the treatment, So that's the point, right? Like what we are trying to like make a decisions, so that we can help each individual, each, patients, or each, members, to drive the diagnosis, the correct diagnosis. Okay. So this is like just something like about us. I have some more thing like just to explain to you, like we're gone. Just a moment. I'll have some more thing just to. Okay. I mean, just a very information what our organization is doing, right? We just want to show you. So this is our portfolio, like called the company name called the Her Corporation. So we are into life science. This is a different, of course, you can say it's like different companies altogether. The diagnostics, right? We have different companies, and in the environmental, right, we have a different companies, and even though similarly for the environmental applied solutions. So almost, if you see, we are earning almost $22 billion in revenues, because almost all our solutions, are associated with the people health. So maybe like you have seen an example like year 2020, right, when the pandemic started, right, the COVID started, right? You have seen, right, like take example, right, you when in China somebody have detected that they have a COVID, right, next day, right, the laboratory in India, they can also able to detect that, okay, this is like from the blood or from the, whatever samples we take from the nostril, right, that there's a COVID virus over there. So how this is happening, right? So the information, the information is get collected, right, at a central place, and that information is getting shared across all the industry so that everybody can make a decisions, right? So just want to tell, right, our sister company called Sapphire, like we earn a lots of revenue in terms of like running all the COVID tests, in India. They're run by this organization called Sapphire. This is like our sister company. Just want to give like how the data like at happening, right? How the results are happening at one place, right? How they are able to, like transform not life of that region, but across all the globe. So that's the use of data analytics in the healthcare, where the data collected by one people is able to do that. The same thing example I just want to give, like when Omicron came, right? Omicron was detected at some place, and next day, right, you see all the places in India, right? Everywhere the test was ready. Like you can able to detect that part. How it was possible? It is possible because the data that is collected from the instruments is getting shared at a central place, and the decisions are getting made. So there's a one information like just want to share like what we are doing. Then let me talk about a couple of thing with you guys, like how this data part.
15 पे जाना है ना shortly.
Okay, I think there's something like, yeah, just want to see the architecture wise how this is happening. Very simple. So this is like our instruments, and then our instruments, like this is like kind of a, you can say hierarchy. You can understand the instruments are getting connected to the institution network, or you can say the hospital network. They are going to the router, and these our, we have some kind of servers where we are putting the data, right? These are the servers you can see here. It's like maybe very high level diagram. I have a more detailed diagram I can show you, where the data done by the instruments that are getting pushed to the institution, the firewall, to the cloud centers, right? At very high level. If you go more detail, like this is a more big detail, like so many instruments will be there in the laboratory, how they're getting connected with each other, and how the data is getting pulled up to the cloud. This is like maybe very brief information. If I want to go more detail, I just like want to show you like how we are doing it. Sorry, like let it open. This is like a kind of a very on a high level I can show you. This is like our user applications, and this is like we are using the cloud called AWS. I think most of the people are aware. This is like Amazon Web Services that provide a technique to us that you can use the cloud services to store the data. And we have our data center in Phoenix in US, where like the data generated from here, it will go to the AWS, it will be stored into the data center, and data center will make a decision. So ultimately in data, big data uses is the place where the processing, the central processing is happening at the background level. Nobody knows. We cannot do that processing here at the instruments, because instruments time is very costly. So this is like one of the information I want to share. There's a more detailed level where actually may not be able to understand, but just want to give brief walkthrough like what is happening on the big data part. Okay, that let me walk through you to some of the, sorry, let me open, like I have tried to get some of the to the information to you guys, right? How exactly things happen. So this is like a couple of our instruments, right? Like the instruments, how we will get the data. So it's very interesting to know, like just maybe I just want to take 5 to 10 minutes for people to show you, like I have some videos like I want to play to tell you guys, right, how this thing is happening. Just give me a second. When you give the data, how this will roll through to, sorry, your, yeah. So maybe this one, sorry, this link is coming anyway. Just a moment, let me, okay. So yeah, maybe voice I have disabled. So like what is, okay, sorry, some advertisement is coming in. Okay, sorry, somebody have posted it a second. Yeah, okay. So this is like our instruments, and this instruments, like you can see this is a laboratory. This instrument is there, and very smaller. And you see here, like this is like, I think the tubes, right? Like whatever tubes you give, right? The doctor will come and normally they will give the tubes, right? And the tubes, right? Whatever, this is like supplies or something loaded. I just want to show you like, yeah, all kind of automation tubes. Like, let me show you next somewhere. What we do, yeah, just a second. Wait a second. This is like some kind of techniques, right? How we calculate the particular bacteria and everything's available. So this is like our instruments, right? Like with what we run, one part of it. And like this is like just, okay, let me. So whatever the tubes, like whenever you go to doctor or lab, right, they will give the samples. The samples will be loaded into this we call racks, and then instrument will run we will push it and the instrument will run. It will take some time based on the assays, based on the test, right? And then it will scan. So many things are there inside. I mean, and then wait a second, we'll get the results actually later on, like based on the different things, right? We'll get the results, and the results will be printed into the reports that you will see on the display that will be forwarded to the user. So this is like internal, like almost all things are automated. Like this is like how your samples will be taken and how you will get the results. Just want to give a big walkthrough, because this information, right, is like, I think nobody knows those information. When you go to hospital, you don't know those things, but just want to show like what we are doing, right, to help the team. Then this is like basically a couple of our instruments that we are using, and then all these instruments are connected to cloud. The data that whatever tests we are running, those reports are getting reported into the cloud, and we are able to generate the data. Similar way, like we have, like this is whatever I told you, immunoassay, and this is like chemistry for glucose. And I think the main important part I want to talk about is like we also have a called lab automation system, and lab automation system also where we are using big data. So we have so many instruments, in a lab. Normally 10 to 15 instruments together. So very big size. We have instruments like you can connect at one place, and like your tubes will move. I'll show you some demo, right, to show you how this thing will happen. So there are 3 phases coming to here. One is called pre-analytical. Some pre-analytical is the phase, right? Sometimes like when you go to give your samples, right, and next day you will receive a call, same day you will receive a call, or your sample is not good, can you come again, can you give the sample again, can you give your blood again? And then what we'll do, we'll go and the pre-analytical phase is like where we try to understand in the sample, right, is everything is fine, is like is there something wrong with the samples or not? And then connection, and then the post analytical part. The post analytical part where is happening on the cloud, the data will be stored, and all the results will be from the cloud, and cloud will get the data and you will receive everything. So something kind of this part. Then yeah, so we have a couple of automation solutions, that let me open a little bit. Yeah, this one. Why this is like we call with a product like called DX1, why this thing are needed? So yeah, this is one link, let me open. Yeah, wait a second, this one. So why exactly the uses of data, right? Data analytics. So these are the three main factor actually. One is a lot of significant time savings. So like I just want to give an example. Suppose somebody have a chest pain, right? And somebody went to hospital. Okay, and doctor need to diagnose that whether this is a heart attack or this is a like normal pain, right? So they need to run a test called PRT and procalcitonin, and through this test, right, they will know, right, if there's a heart attack or not. So normally to get the results, it's gonna take couple of days. So we cannot wait couple of days, right? What is happening, right, with this big data analytics, right? The data that we're storing, the calculations happening, we are able to significantly reduce the time. So the results are coming in 2 hours. Sometimes we have a plan to increase into a minutes actually. And this happened because the data that is stored into the cloud, right? The lots of like permutation combination we run, lots of algorithm we run, right? To know, right, like is this kind of data results came, right? Can it match to a different some other times, right? Some patient have the similar symptoms. What was the data? What was the results came from there? So that what the things coming here, it reduces the time spent. This is again from the stock perspective, but I'm just telling, right, the significant time savings, right? It's reduced pay for a manual tracking. We don't have to do anything, right? Everything is the cloud. Then the inventory part come to picture, right? When we have so many instruments, the point is like this inventory is becoming a very big problem, right? Like how much, because when you want to run instruments, right, you need some supplies. The supplies are required to run the systems. Like previously what used to happen, right, the supply was a kind of manual workflow. Now because the supply information is into the cloud, right, we will receive a notification, okay, there's some like less supplies here, do we need to supply, then automatically the notification will go to the supplier will send those supplies. And the same thing that beauty we have seen in the during the pandemic, right? Whenever you have seen something, right, okay, the government like today told, now we want to run 10 lakhs tests in this area, suppose they want to increase to 20, it's just a matter of couple of hours they can able to run it. And this has happened because the data helped us, right? The data help us to see, right, where there will be some particular area where this kind of things happen and these are the symptoms are coming, let's focus over there. That's again the similar to the part. Then the optimal user interface, right, we are trying to see like if once the data comes, right, how we can optimize the views. So this is like couple of maybe some of the uses like the automated order placement, the simplified management, inventory information, right? Maybe I will show you maybe a couple of videos I have how this thing is going to happen and like help you out. Yes, I can. This is anyway I've done. This is the automation part. This is the wait a second. Let me just give me a second. Let me that all the content are available on the YouTube. Sorry. So, yeah. So this is one. We have all the information like hematology, Beckman culture. This one. Just a second. Give me a second. Sorry, I have the document, but I'm forbidden to share those documents with the team because it's like more regulated one. We cannot show that document to you guys. Okay, let me go here. Anyway, not sure. Okay, this is like again. Anyway, this is the point. I can show you automation point. We have like a couple of just want to show you like this kind of things. So this is like from the patient, right, when the results come, this is like our user interface through which you can able to the routine. Normally we give the names like all the patient, these are patient names, everybody can see what are the instrument they are running, different instruments actually, and whatever what is the collection time, what is their ID, patient ID, what is their location, and then what is like spending or process, something like that. And this is like more concentrated list, right, about each body, right, the analytics part that is coming to picture right here. When the patient results come, right, like these are like all the data we received from the cloud, from the big data, to make a decision for different parameters, right? This is like RBC profiles, and the different tests, different properties. Maybe when you go for a urine test, you get lots of data, right? And this data basically calculated, like the calculation happened at the cloud actually. This is like more information, right? The patient, right, what order happened, what was the creatine, right, the 5.4 or different information, what was the population, so many things that information come from there. Okay, then also sometimes, right, we can also able to uh, put an alert, right, onto the user, right, if there's something, right, wrong happen with the sample. And this like happen most of the times, like if somebody instrument have detected, right, that okay, there is some error, or later when we run the sample from the cloud, right, we have seen that these parameters are not matching. And sometimes we need to run continuously actually this test, sometimes 3 times we need to run to see if the results of the next run also came the same. So those information is helping us. The main point is like making the decision right. Making a right decision is the most important key. And second part is the time, the reduction of the time. So if you see the big data uses in healthcare, these are two most important part. If we do a wrong diagnostics, right, then I think we're going to lose the business, and I think we're gonna like kill that person who will be responsible for those things. So the second, this big data is helping us on that area. So this is like again a couple of information. I think whatever I can share with you, I can share with you. There's some more things like I just want to tell you, right, on the automation side, like just want to give like a brief walkthrough, like how this thing work, right, how automation, right, just let me show you in a more, yeah, this is a kind of pre-analytical step. So this is basically a lab. When we talk about lab, normally you don't have access to it, and this is like how labs will have a big instruments actually. This big instrument, this lab is connected. This is like the tubes, that different tubes where you put the blood sample. So we load the samples here. When the sample will be loaded, right, they will be picked. This whole automation system where it will be picked, they put to different instruments. It will show you, right, what is happening. It will pick up the sample based on the configured test, right? Normally what happened, the hospital will run so many tests. It can have a capability that it can run thousands of tests per hour actually. And that's how big labs, where all the sample will be connected and you can able to run these things. So this is a basic things I'm showing to here, and I can share that information to you guys later. It's pretty interesting, right, how all this thing happen, how the tubes will move, right, and how they will be decapped, how again, right, normally if you see in this part, right, they'll put the decap and it will be decapped to a spread. We call a spread, different instruments we have to aliquot, right. Now just I'm showing the lab part to you guys, and how this old lab system is connected to the data centers. So this is like one part. This instruments is like I'm showing the virtually to you. If you go to visit any lab, you go there. Normally you don't have access, but if you go there, you will see that this is a kind of same structure everybody follows, and everybody based on tube you can able to make a quick decisions, right? Different companies, not only our company, we support different other, like Siemens is there, Philips is there, different companies are there, how they're connected internally. Yeah. Just want to showcase to you, right, is a information, like the information data got collected, and yeah, just very yeah, fascinating, right, to see whole the automation and most of the things, right. If something, the second part also comes to part here, the maintenance, right. If something happened to the instrument, right, how we will know, like how we can able to quickly solve that problem. Because if the instrument is broken, like you cannot able to run that test in that lab, and you're not able to get the results, right, then everybody will be start panicking, right, like what should we do now? And then at that time the only solution is this, okay, we need to solve the problem. So what we are trying to do here, we are putting that data into the cloud, and lots of analytics will happen in the cloud that will tell you that okay, that this instrument somewhere it got broken there, and Now how to solve that? So this again, the third part comes to picture, the maintenance of the instrument. So first I told the timing part, whether time is helping. Second thing is the decision making. Third part is the maintenance. Maintenance somewhat little time. So the problems that happen at one region, it may be similar to the other regions actually. So what we also do, if somebody go into the lab to solve the problems, we record all the steps, into the cloud, into the data centers. And if somebody else in the other regions, right, facing that problem, right, can able to, solve that problem actually. So that's one of the things that I think just want to showcase, right, how the labs are there. I think you guys can go to more detail, right? I just don't want to go, like, it will be interesting to know how it works, but up to you guys, right? If you want to show, I can show more. The most, yeah, these are the first four more important point I shown you. I have to, the fourth point I told you, the timing, the accuracy of the results, the maintenance, and the fourth point is the sharing the learnings actually. So again, all the healthcare industries, what they do, right? We have a common place, where what is like, depending on country to country, depending on their regulatory systems, where the data centers will be there run by the government. So whatever new diseases are coming, whatever the new learnings you are getting, that we need to add those learnings to the government database, like this kind of diseases are happening in this region. And sometimes you see, right, in news is coming, right, this is like a Japanese fever is coming into this region, or this is like, or then how we'll know, okay, this is different or same one, how we'll know this is Japanese fever, right? Somewhere we need to understand the parameters was same with these values, right? So how we make the decisions make based on the data only, and that's how the data is helping you to make that decision early, to make that correct decision based on the learnings from one region. Okay, that's a fourth point coming to picture. So I think this is like kind of a little bit information I have on to show you guys. I'll place some more video to make you aware of little bit about let me show you if I have that thing. Is maybe this is a part again. Yeah, so this is like kind of just want to plop here. You will see here, right, lots of next, this you see here, lots of this command central. So command central is the place where, like, let me put, this is a like lab technician. The lab technician, he will order everything from here. So he's sitting in one place and he's controlling all the big instruments, whatever you see here. These are different instruments, and this is like the command central, we call DX1 command central. This command central is connected to the clouds, and based on like suppose you have given a sample into one area, but like how this guy will know, right? How this guy will know that, okay, I have to run this sample, I have to run this test on these samples. So the data is stored at one place, and that data will be when he order that test, right? When he receive the tubes, from the labs, he will run those just based on the barcode, right? Whatever configured, right? He will run all the tests. So this is like, again, one of the part I just want to show you, like, very easily, right? Then, yeah, you see here the DX1, like we have one protocol DX1 inside. There's also data analytics tools, so that help you to make a decisions, that how long I need to be present here, right? Okay, this instrument, right, I can go for have a coffee or something, right? And how long, if there's some supply down, can I go and load the supply? So this guy will tell you to, based on the uses, right? Based on the use of the instrument, right? This, you have this much supply left, or this much no supply left. Okay, so this is like, just want to give an insight to you how a lab look like, how the instruments are connected, how they are sending the data, how we're collecting the data, how we are making a decision or making the right decision, all those things. Just want to brief walk through to you. Yeah, different tests you see here: cardiac, diabetes, disease, and all those things, thyroid, markers, sepsis, right? Sepsis is again a kind of new disease happening in US. I think in India we also seeing lots of people are getting suffered because of sepsis. And yep, so couple of things here. You see here how the instrument will connect it. This is like if you go to a lab, you will see the direct thing actually. is yeah, system like you see here, system is not ready, is in the pause mode or is in the red mode, all the information is getting to cloud, the data will be, and we will monitor, right? In this area, we are seeing the instrument is getting down. What is our other strategy? Because we cannot miss the timing. Because if we miss the timing, then definitely, we have playing with the people lives. And people lives are more important than anything else. That's the one of the key that I just want to show you on that front, right? Like how this is the kind of things, right? Internally, it's a more internal part to it, right? I don't want to go through this to you. Maybe you guys can. Yeah, it's very quick systems, right? Just yeah, information to you guys how this is gonna help. Yeah. Now let me talk to you, right? Something like I was having this part I discussed, right? I think I didn't give like maybe questions to anybody, right? If anybody have any questions or something, like I'm maybe speaking, right? Is there anything like you guys want to know, right? I can touch base on that point. Anybody have any questions or something they want to see? I can get that answer. Anyone, or is all clear? Okay, I think good. Let me start more part to it here. Just a second. Okay, then let me go to, yeah, this is like our solutions. Like I will go to a data analytics folder. Yeah, I think I shown you this part, but again, these are the different. So if you see the tools, right, the workflow informatics, right, these are the things that we are giving to the users, right? Like the automation systems, the information management tools, the pro service remote service tools, how you can write a person sitting in US, he can able to diagnose any instrument from the world. A similarly person sitting in India, he can able to connect to any instrument in the world and can able to solve the problem very quickly. Second, this tool. DX1 is again like an umbrella of products, inventory manager, how you can able to predict, right? Today, suppose I have 100 tests, tomorrow there may predict like 200 tests may come. How can I make the decisions, right? So those things, how much supply I need, how much material I need, how much tubes I need, right? All those information we are providing to the labs, right? Because we are running the data analytics based on their daily uses, right? Normally, if you go, like just give an example to you. Normally in the night, if you go, right? If you go around 10 o'clock to the lab, right, to give a sample to the hospital, right, they will say, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe tomorrow morning you'll get the results. But the same day, if you go on the Saturday, right, in the weekend, right, even though you go late night, right, you will say the results will be coming in 2 hours. So that's what like we predict those analysis and we give those data's information, to the labs, to the hospitals, that these are the pre-post analytics based on the results, based on the uses, so that you can get ready for the supplies. You can order the supply will be available to you, and you can able to like run those diagnostics, right? Then we have a middleware data analytics. Middleware, maybe if you want to test middleware little bit, is the place where, let me show you. This is like it's like the future proof lab with the first cloud-based middleware solution. So again, like take an example, right? If you want to give, like take example, suppose you are in Jammu, you want to give a test over there, right? In Jammu, you want to give a sample over there, but you want to run your test in Kashmir, right? It's a very far distance, right? And you will able to, if your sample is exported over there, and you're able to run those things because the data is stored in the cloud, right? That's how the whole industry is changing. So it's a like kind of, maybe some of the factors I want to tell you. If you take example of Amazon, right? Like our this companies where they're delivering the products daily, right? Our like day-to-day routines systems, right? Applications or website, right? You order one thing, and even though the orders is coming from maybe Haryana or from maybe Tamil Nadu, right? Within a couple of days get delivered, to you. How they manage this thing? They will, once you place the order, they will tell you, okay, that okay, next 24 hours, right, you're going to receive this order. How it is possible actually? This is possible because it was possible in the FMCG companies because of the data they are able to understand. The healthcare was little reserved actually, because people feel here more that if I share my data, right, somebody can steal my data, and somebody can like get, okay, this person has this disease. The privacy become a very important part here, right? So we need to also make sure, right, the information about one problem patient, right, it should not go to the person, right? The same problem we have seen lots of issues, right, with the privacy. Like somebody has HIV, and if somebody can know this person is HIV, everybody will run from there, right? So that part kind of we need to be very careful that privacy is also supported. So that's like one of the area, like healthcare is taking some time to adopt this thing, because in healthcare the privacy play a bigger role here compared to lots of our daily uses thing that we order from Amazon, from Flipkart, and other ordering websites, right? This is very different here, because privacy and security of your data play a bigger role. And to be very frank, right, the government regulation is so tight that you cannot in any means can take the data, even though the lab manager, who is running the test, lab technician, he cannot able to know, he will never know that who was that patient actually. They will not know, because they can copy that information. So that's the secrecy part actually. So again, secrecy is also maintained, if your data that you're storing, right, is secure. And that how you make sure, you have to make sure like the connection part, or lots of new technologies are coming, and the adoption to healthcare is becoming little, nowadays every whole the healthcare industry, they're moving to that area. And that's how you've seen when COVID came in 2020, right? It was, we used to have only one lab in Delhi, and that used to run the test. Within couple of months, right, we used to have almost 170 labs, 180 labs, and in couple of in 1 year, right, we almost have 1,200, 1,500 labs. Now we have almost, I think, close to 3,000 to 4,000 labs across India that are running those tests, and everybody accuracy and the quality is maintained. Nobody knows, right, even though like this person is having a COVID, right, expert from the government only knows those data. So even though we don't know those information, so secrecy part also come to picture. And that's how healthcare industry is little conservative, because it's privacy and security issues. Okay, so that's like one of the part I just want to touch base, right, why we are little slow in terms of adopting that need. The inventory part, like I just want to give one more part to here is inventory. Inventory is again the place, right, is the same way like how you order the product, right, from the Amazon, and how the customer will order the things, right? So he will, once you see, right, instrument is running out of supply, what it will happen, right, instrument will automatically, because data is saving over there, we know instrument is running out of supply, and this day, like tomorrow we need to run this test because this lab is running this test continuously on weekends, right? We need to make those supplies available, and automatically notification will go to the supplier, and supplier will send those information, and they will supply the goods to the labs, and that's how things happen. Same way, I just want to give example like you have seen the oxygen scarcity, right, in the 2020, yeah, where oxygen cylinder is manufactured at one place and how it got shipped over there. So similar way, healthcare initially it was not adopted. It is adopted now. They made the central database, central place, right, where they know where is a consumption is happening. Let me send those things. And the same thing, we this is a learning, from healthcare perspective, right? How the instruments, where we are running, right, we're collecting the data, and how other people, right, the other things that learning from there can be shifted to do the more help for other peoples. So this is again one more thing, right? And yeah, real-time transaction, simplified management. Maybe I just open, like I'm not sure if you can get that information. Let me see, like if you can able to get that information. Trying to open this. A second. This is email. I think I'm not able to get. Maybe. Yeah. There's more things. Again, based on the different things, we also have different solutions. Take an example of, just want to give the SARS, the COVID antibody testing, right? And similarly, we have seen, right, that somebody like we used to do IgM and IgG. Like, do you have a COVID antibodies? This was very popular term, right? If you have COVID antibodies, right, the chances of getting again a COVID infection is very less. How you maintain that thing actually? How you know that this particular, and there used to be some zero survey used to happen, you guys have seen, right? Or zero survey style, right? This particular reason, that you know we have 80% antibodies available in this particular region, so we don't have to focus on vaccination. So all those things are getting from there only, getting from us only, right? The instruments are sending those data, and the data analysis are happening. Different things, right? Diabetes, drug monitoring. There's also one more thing, like the drug monitoring detections, right? Anyway, right, like we have lots of a problem. Like just want to give an example, right? Somebody suppose have done an accident, an accident happened, right? First thing what they will do, they will take that person to a hospital. They will check if that person is having alcohol content or not. And like, how you determine, right, which alcohol, what is the permissible range, and how, and everywhere that this range is very different. How they are is regulated from the government, right? That this permissible range is available, then only we can tell, right, that this person is having that addicted to that drug. He was like influenced of alcohol, right? He was driving, and then court can punish, right? So those are kind of solution also is coming from there actually. Disease, right? Infection disease, right? Anyway, these days is like more a kind of, it's a collaborative work. Healthcare, the difference part is here, right? Even though so many companies are working together, but our old motto, right? All the companies are having one motto, is the people health. We cannot play with people health. And that's like, we do share these kind of things with the sister companies, or, the other companies that like, just want to give Philips is like, you have seen the, when you go to, like, just want to give an example, when you go for MRI, you have seen Siemens, right? They will take care of your MRI brain mapping, and they will show you like there's some problem, some clot is there, right? How we will know what kind of clot is there, what kind of things, then we take a slicing, we do lots of things, and you will know that, okay, you can do operation or not, or you need to go, that what is called the radiation therapy or not. So how do we make those decisions? Because every day human body is changing, right? And those things is like able to help you out. The next thing is the cancer part, the prostate cancer detection. Again, as you know, the cancer, there's so many types of cancer, right? How you will know this particular area, like whatever this person have, right? This is a kind of cancer, because it's maintained, because the data part, right? We store those data. We do those results calculation and again and see, right, and how to diagnose. And you have seen like the pharmaceutical industries, right? We have so many medication for cancer, right? How this is happening? Because they will run the test and they will know that this is the particular cause happening. So again, yeah, this is like lots of information. I think I'll share this website to you guys, right? Just go through this, right? I'm really sorry, I cannot go into more detail of what exactly it helped, but whatever the public information is there, I'm just going to share with you, right? Like what is like on the real time, right? How data is helping a healthcare industry to move forward, and now it is touching each one of our life. It's like whenever I go for like recently I've gone for a health checkup, right? And they have taken like before fasting they have taken my blood test, and then after fasting they have taken a blood test, and then I'm waiting for the report, and the evening report will come, and then based on that things will change, right? Should I have to go for which diagnostic I need to go? So that's like, if I do a wrong diagnostic, right, people will be dying, right? They will lose all our focus, right? That's how this just want to just this is like how data is helping us to make a right decisions, to make based on the timing. The first thing I told, the time is very important. Second thing is the accurate results. Then third part is the maintenance of the instruments, and the fourth part is the inventory. Inventory is like where, like based on the need, we can able to ship your, the assistant required, to across the globe, not only in India, but across the globe. Okay, and these learnings are shared. So this is like kind of a very informative part. I want to go more detail, but I just want to like maybe hard stop here, like just want to give 15 minutes of time, right? 10 15 minutes of time, right? If you guys have any questions, anything you want to know, I can help you to make you understand or make you, uh, do something, right? But this is like all practical example I'm showing to you. Okay, so that's like my hard stop now. Anybody have any questions, any comments, anything they want to know, I can, if I know, I can find it or I can share with you.
Dear participants, please discuss if you have any query. And Mr. VK Singh is among us. Please.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it was very informative talk. And I have also worked in hospital, and I have seen all these machines, and we have integrated some of machines with our hospital information system at that time. Sir, but I want to know about the data. Sir, can you, for example, if I need data this time, they are not providing any data due to the privacy, and which you also, sir, discussed about that. So, but I want to know from your side, is there is any option like if as a researcher we can get any data or we can work on any data set there?
So,
or there is some internship type?
Sure. So again, like the data type, normally, see, if you are working on a research, right? Normally the data get granted to the universities with the collaboration. Actually, we have a collaboration with, I think, University of Oxford, University of what is called South California. I forget the name. In US, and I think in Ireland, in like what we do, right? So normally, like the data will be shared across those research group, right? We share the data, but again, it is the government and the regulatory part come to picture here. So government, and if this is like because the data is like about the people, and we cannot share like this. So if you have a the recommendation from the government that your group is doing that study, you need that data. So the procedure is like you need to connect to the legal department of the company, and the legal department will evaluate what kind of data you need. What they will do, they'll say the need, and I think they're like a procedure from the government, right? That you from the government and from the different companies regulatory, where you need to have some non-confidentiality agreement, and they will remove the patient information. They will give you all the data, but as possible, actually lots of research our groups, they are getting that data. But again, the procedure is that you need to connect to the legal department, and they will provide all the assistance to you. But data, you can get it definitely, but not through me. Yeah, I can send you like if you are more interested, I can send you the contact number. You can contact with them if you are like having some grant. This is grant from the government, right? For particular regions, right? They can give the data to you, and you can play with the data, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anybody having any questions?
Vinay sir, we have one query.
Yep.
As you have major experience to design the instruments regarding the medical tests and many more, environmental also. So I think that everything is going towards the automation. Yep. And each and every doctor prefer the test. It means that our own experience of the doctor is going to shift on the instrumentation. After 10 or 15 years, where will you see this industry to design the medical instrumentation? What your perspective, sir?
So again, right, the perspective here, like if you see, like just want to give an example, right? Previously, those tests, like whatever the automation happening, if you just take example of 10 15 years back, right? 15 years back, What we used to do, like maybe if you have seen in some movies, right, that there used to be one lab person who used to wear the white coat. He what will do in the chemistry lab we used to do, right? He will take the pipette, he will take the tube, he will mix something, he will do like this, and he will see the color or something. That was the thing, right? And later it used to take time, right? Now everybody moved to the automation. The future, what we are looking, right? Again, I think adoption of the technology in healthcare is, happening almost 20 years late compared to the other industries, right? It's 20 years late. Even though 20 or 30 years late, I mean, say like whatever technology we use right now is very old. And because of so many regulations, from the government, it is very difficult. But what I'm envisioning the future is, you like right now, like when somebody come to your home, right, they will take, right, suppose you need to run glucose, you need to run HB1AC, you need to run other tests, right? They will take 3 bottles of your feed tubes. They will take 3 tubes to get the blood in 3 times. They'll take. In the future, what is going to happen is just like you will be only a smaller liquid will be taken from your body, small blood will be taken, all the analysis will be done over there. That's the first thing, right? That the intervention of and sometimes the future was, I think what we predicting was like that everybody, like just take an example, somebody have a glucose machine. Right now we have a small glucose machine at the home, right? You can able to like pinch in your finger, get the blood, put on the strip, and you can get the results, right? How much my sugar. But in healthcare industry, it is going to be a little difficult, that adoption, because first of all, nobody, no doctor, right? They will not believe on your results. They will again run the results in the lab because they see the environment that where you're running is not correct. So that's what I'm telling you, right? In the future, what you're gonna see is like more kind of an informative part. Informative in the sense, right? You're gonna get results in minutes. Actually, your glucose result will be out. You give a sample and the results are out within 10 minutes. That's the first part, the timing part. Second part, the automation part, like I think the adaptation part will gonna take time. Like whatever you see currently in the Amazon or the Flipkart, right? Like so quickly, like, but it's gonna take time. It like I'm just predicting, right? We have moved like the automating, like nobody has seen this thing, but it's happening because like so many tests are running. So the direction I feel, right, will be more automation, but more interconnected systems. All the laboratory in the world will be connected together. You cannot rule out the labs. The test will not happen at the home. It will happen to the lab. But the time, so the automation, it will increase because you just see example, right? Suppose you're going to a lab, right? First thing they will ask you, or to hospital, right? Recently I have seen in Bangalore. If you go to hospital, first they will see, do you have COVID? Okay, let's do a COVID test. Okay, after COVID, okay, let me run the glucose, go this bacteria test and this and this, and then come back. And then the doctor will meet you. So that's one thing, like more tests is going to increase. But again, the same time, like we are going to, the diagnostic that we're going to do is going to be more accurate. Because one thing, like the human errors, we are avoiding. So I think in the future, I am just saying like there will be more interconnected systems, interconnected laboratories, more will be where data will be shared more. But again, it will be not that high scale as in other industries. That's one thing I can envision, right, in the coming years.
What are your comments regarding the accuracy of these type of the instruments?
See, accuracy part, again, to be very specific, right, is again that's what like accuracy. See, again, everything, right, everything is just like a chemical reaction. How you this technology is proven kind of. We hardly, right, I have seen like is a 0.001% is the we have seen misses in the like the reports. 0.001 is very less because there is no, even though like the regulatory department of all governments, right, they are so tight. If you have done a single wrong diagnostics, right, you need to recall your instrument. Recall in the sense is like kind of, you cannot run that test in that country. So the regulatory is very, very tight. Like recently, I just give one example. Like we have seen a recall from Philips, right? Philips used to make this pacemaker. And we have seen a recall happen from the pacemaker. Recall in the sense, right, where the pacemaker is, because a couple of results we have received from the customers, right, where they have told the instrument not behave properly, whatever inserted into your body. And they have to recall all the instruments, right, whatever they have sold, not only in India, outside the world. So that's what, like here we do a lots of testing, right? It's not that easy. Getting a regulatory passing is like, it's a big challenge. It takes years to prove that. And as related with the health, so I mean, industry, I can feel, right, it's like results are somewhat, like I feel, more accurate now. And I think going forward, right, because this knowledge sharing will happen, government regulation will also increasing, right, and this basically the data analytics also will increase, right. You will see the results, whatever you see, right, is not happening here and there, it will improve. But I understand, like there's something, but I think it's not as severe, right, as we people show to us, right, like this. But if somebody doing like I have seen like people, right, like when they go for some tests, right, like in our organization also we have, policy, right, when you go for coming for, we have health checkup every every 6 months. And when we go, like we can give, even though you have some disease, right, you can give a blood of other person, or you can give a urine of other person, and then that kind of things can happen, right, and you cannot do anything. So that level is there, but I think results are getting more accurate. And that's how you see, right, people, lots of people, like with them, when they're fighting with cancer, when they're fighting with heart attacks, all things are getting sorted out. Even though you take example of like the diabetics, right, that's like a very big disease in India. People used to die. Right now people are getting correct, the medications from that, because the results, because all the doctors, all the labs, they're running based on the results that's produced by, not by the human, by the machine. That's way, I mean, I feel like yeah, results are more accurate. I think we need to somehow believe that, actually, because it's not and getting day by day is getting better.
Anybody having any other query?
I hope that there is no query from the participants. And thank you, Dr. Saab, thank you very much to accept the invitation and deliver a valuable information to us. And I hope that all the participants will be benefited by your talk, sir. And in future, we will also call you. We have very good, fantastic campus, green and lush. While we will arrange any event or program in an offline mode, then we will definitely call you, sir. Be ready for that.
Sure. It's always my pleasure, because I have, like, it was my kind of a dream to do a PhD. After my master's, I'm not able to focus, but yeah, definitely come to visit. Yeah, it's always pleasure to meet people, right, and see like how we can touch with each other lives, right. That's the most important part. Yep. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank